Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Maddie here from Chilled TCG. Today we're going to be watching the Grand Finals match from our massive 342-player Chill Series number 15 tournament. In the finals here we have Pedro Torres playing Centiskorch, a new version, featuring Silvally-GX, and he's playing against Gabe Shumway, who made it all the way to the finals with Decidueye Goons. So both players had an amazing run. A lot of you might be thinking, well, this probably isn't a great matchup for Decidueye. You'd be right. Of course, Pedro is running Volcanions, but you never know what's going to happen. This is the Chill Series, so anything can really happen. We're going to see that that Gabe here starts with a Snorlax here with Gormandize in the active spot. Does have that Rowlet on his bench, and Pedro is starting off with a Crobat. So definitely not the most ideal start for Pedro, and Pedro is actually going to be going first. So, we're watching from the perspective of Gabe here. I know a lot of you guys might have been watching this Grand Finals match on Pedro's live stream. So big shout out to Pedro, but I was able to record from Gabe's perspective, so now it's good to have both perspectives, even if you did watch the finals on Pedro's live stream on Twitch. So let's get right into it here. He's gonna put down the Giant Hearth, and he's going to discard the Fire Energy, look through his deck, try to find his prize cards like any good player would, and he is going to go ahead and hope that he isn't prizing any Volcanions. That's going to be definitely very important for him, and yeah, we're going to just sort of sit here and wait for him to do that. So, yeah, guys, the tournament was absolutely massive. It was a great tournament. Our biggest turnout by far so far in the Chill Series. It was our 15th one. 342 players. It was absolutely phenomenal. And we did have Pedro and Gabe here make it to finals. So, definitely very cool. Especially to see a Centiskorch make it back to finals here, and a new version of Centiskorch as well, right? Definitely just super cool in general to get to see both of these players match it up in the finals. And Gabe, of course, had a great run, great meta call today playing Desi Goons, and overall just had a, I don't know, he had a good run to get into finals here. Okay, so Pedro here, he's going to go ahead and pop the quick ball. He's going to find a Centiskorch after he's taken down his prize cards. He's going to attach, I believe that is a Heat Fire Energy to Centiskorch. Interesting that we do not see Volcanion yet. We're going to see the Zigzagoon there, put a little counter onto the Centiskorch, and he's going to scoop up the Zigzagoon. Will he... Okay, does he research it out is the question. Very interesting. He does. We do see the rare candy in the Decidueye for next turn. He's going to get the energy as well to put right on that Rowlet. Not much in his hand. Like, he can Gormandize, but he's only drawing one card, right? But I guess that's better than nothing, I suppose, right? It does get the Ordinary Rod. So a very quick turn from both players. Again, not much they can probably do here on the first turn. Both of these decks really like to start setting up, going second or on their second turn. So we see him discard that Dedenne to grab 2 more Fire Energies. Always good to thin out your deck. We do see the Welder here, so he's going to put a couple energies on the Centiskorch. Does he have the VMAX? Or does he find the VMAX? We will see. Now, Pedro, he does have the Volcanions in his deck, but he also has the type Nulls in his deck, which are basic Pokemon, but they are single prize Pokemon, right? And he uses those to evolve into the Silvally-GX. He puts the Heatran on his bench, and he's going to go ahead and try to get a Donk here, I believe. Or not a Donk, but he's going to just go ahead and get this KO here on the Snorlax, hoping to put some pressure on Gabe, but little does he know that Gabe does have the rare candy, and he does have the Decidueye in hand, so he's going to be able to get a good setup. He does have a Jirachi as well that he could set up, so the Rosa in hand, the Marnie in hand, the Research in hand. He really has everything that he could possibly want right now. He's going to elect, I believe, to play the Rosa, and I think that's a smart move. He's going to go ahead and grab another Rowlet. It's going to be important for him to set that up early. Grabs the Bird Keeper. Actually, no, yeah. Okay, so he's actually going to grab the Dark Energy, and it looks like he's going to be searching through his deck, figuring out, what might be prized, what not. And he's going to grab the Turffield Stadium, which I think is also smart, potentially set up another Decidueye early on. So, yeah, we will see. Actually, Alexa does grab the Bird Keeper, okay. And I think that's pretty cool. So he's going to go ahead, attach to the active. He's going to rare candy it, evolve into it. Now, nothing on Pedro's board right now is going to be able to damage this Decidueye. However, if he does get that Volcanion set up, then, he will be in a pretty good spot. This Decidueye is well, he's one Zigzagoon off getting a 2-hit KO on this Heatran, which could be very important. Gets those damage counters, spread across Pedro's bench right now, which could be important in the long run. But we'll see. We'll see what Pedro decides to do here. Looks like he's planning out a strategy. And most people might think that this matchup is really bad for Decidueye, but this is Decidueye Goons, so he has a little bit more room to work with. But either way, Gabe is a great player, and Pedro is going to have to play it smart. He's going to have to manage his resources, and he's definitely going to have to sequence properly and do everything carefully, right? Because this is a good matchup for him, but you never know, right? It can go south real quick, and before you know it, you might be putting yourself in a disadvantage when you really don't need to. So he is going to find that Volcanion, and he's going to get that Welder, actually, 2 turns in a row. He's going to put 2 onto the Volcanion. Very nice here. If he gets the switch, then he'll be able to get some nice KOs here early on some Decidueyes. We'll see. He's going to Quick Ball for Centiskorch. Probably thinning out the deck even more. Does he put it on the bench? He does. No. Yes. He puts the Volcanion on, and he thins it out, discards that Centiskorch. He's got a fresh 6 cards here, so let's see if he does find any way to switch. That could be very good for him. That Volcanion, of course, will be doing enough damage to get the one-shot on that Decidueye, hitting for a weakness. He puts a third energy this turn on his other Volcanion on the bench. It doesn't look like he has switch right now, which could be complicated. Heatran, it's got 3 energies in its retreat cost. If he retreats out, then he doesn't have enough energies on board to do the full damage effect onto that Heatran. Gabe says, I think my win con is to believe. Hey, listen, you always got to believe, Gabe. That's very funny. Shout out to Gabe, man. Great player, great guy. He grabs the Dartrix, actually. I think that's probably the safer move. You don't know if you're going to be able to draw into rare candy, right? So it's always good to have the Dartrixes in deck. And, if he doesn't feel like he's comfortable or if he doesn't want to rely on getting the rare candy in the Decidueye this turn, then, he might as well just grab the Dartrix. I think that's definitely the smart play. He's going to Ordinary Rod here already. He's going to go ahead and grab that Snorlax and the Zigzagoon, put them into the deck. That Zigzagoon is definitely going to be really important. And he actually researches out this turn. And he actually did find the Decidueye and the rare candy. So, sometimes you get it like that. But I think his play was the safe play. And, that's always probably the better play. But before he does anything, he's just going to go ahead and attack. Doesn't find the Zigzagoon, although he could have gotten the KO here. But I think, he probably wants to keep this Heatran in the active spot. That's because, if he does knock out this Heatran, then, he's going to get knocked out next turn by a Volcanion anyway, and he knows that Pedro doesn't have Switch, so I think that was a very smart play on Gabe's part. We're going to see him evolve into a Centiskorch VMAX, give it some more HP. Won't often be able to attack with it, but, if he has boss's orders, he can KO the Snorlaxes, the Obstagoons and the Jirachis, and he does get a Switch card, actually. He had it in hand like that. Very confusing. I'm not sure. I guess kind of a pro play on Pedro's part. Does get the KO on that Decidueye, but we are going to be able to see another Decidueye get just already set up right here with the, he's got the Decidueye in hand. He's got the energy, but does he have a way to switch? He does find Rosa. That means he will be able to switch in and find a bunch of other cards that he needs. So very important. I think if he finds a Turffield Stadium, that could be good. Get rid of that, that Giant Hearth that's out there on the board for Pedro right now. But Pedro's in a pretty good spot. He's got both Volcanions out. He's got more than 4 energy on the board. Both of them got 2 energies on him. He's feeling good. This Volcanion might get knocked out this turn, which again, isn't extremely ideal, right? It's I don't know how many Pedro is playing exactly in his list. I should have it pulled up. I don't, but I assume it's either 2 or 3. He might be running 4. I don't believe he's running 4. But just getting one of these. We do see the Zigzagoon come out, so that's going to be very clutch in getting the KO here this turn. But it's very important. Also, he's going to knock out this Heatran too. So plenty of good things going on. Again, though, he really would like to have another one set up on his bench, and he's going to go ahead and start doing that this turn. And I think that's a good play on his part. Obstagoon, it's not a terrible play in this matchup. Especially once these Volcanions get knocked out. The problem with that is that Pedro can set up his Centiskorch VMAX at any time with a Welder, which means that it's not really a safe Pokemon to leave in the active spot, which is something that Gabe's really going to have to play around. He's going to have to think, right? Yeah, both players are going to have to think a lot in this matchup. He does go ahead and knocks out the Heatran. And this, the Heatran had the heat energy on it, so it's living, man. It's living. I don't know if that was a misplay on Gabe's part. I don't know if he miscalculated. I forgot that the energy was on. But he does get that knockout on that first Volcanion, but he has the second one to deal with, and it's going to be a little while here, probably, before he's able to set up another Decidueye. Just doesn't have it in hand. Although he can go into the Obstagoon with the rare candy. It's probably not the best choice. He's going to go ahead and look. Finds a quick ball. Not something that's necessarily going to find him the Decidueye. So he's going to put that other Rowlet there, his next one on the bench. He's going to Birdkeeper into it, which is interesting. Again, doesn't find any way to find the Decidueye. That Mew's not going to be useful for him. Good in the Pokemon matchup, but not in this one specifically. It looks like he's actually out of Decidueyes in his deck, if I saw correctly, but maybe I didn't. We're going to see the Whirlpool Suction here force him into switching into something else. Probably going to be the Heatran, I would say. That's the smart move. And he is going to actually reuse the rare candy to go into Obstagoon, and I like that. I like that play. And he's going to go ahead and put 3 damage counters on. Doesn't knock out the Heatran because, of course, he wants to bench lock him, right? He wants to keep that Heatran in the active spot, which is a bit important. He's going to have to let something go down here, though. He's not going to be able to get the KO. Like, if he doesn't get the KO on this Heatran, no matter what, he doesn't have a Decidueye in play, so something's going to get knocked out. Actually, Rowlet. Wow, that's a really good play on that Rowlet there. The Birdkeeper, super clutch. He's going to get the KO on that Volcanion. Super cool. And this Heatran is still locked in the active spot. Gabe only has 4 prizes remaining. He definitely, has the capability to knock out this Heatran, but the next 2 prize cards, I'm not exactly sure. So both players actually, they're doing really well. It's a close matchup, and definitely a lot of thinking going into this game. So very interesting to see. Pedro, he does evolve that Silvally. Doesn't want to, rely on those type nulls. They're not necessarily great options, but he does have them, right? I think right now, you really dig through your deck. You know that you can KO that Obstagoon, with the Centiskorch VMAX, and really, I think he just needs an energy in a switch, preferably, right? He doesn't even need to switch out either. Like he could, if he bosses into Obstagoon, then he's getting the KO, right? We see a Cherish Ball here. Just to thin that out in case he gets Marnied. He's going to Quick Ball away another Centiskorch. Perhaps also didn't find anything. I'm not sure if he even had anything else in deck, but we see him disc reload there with the Silvally, draw a couple cards here. And so both players really sort of digging deep into their pockets, into their tool bags here. To find everything that they could possibly use. Again, Gabe, I don't know if he really has access to another Decidueye, which could be a little bit tough. And we see a Mallow Lana come out, which could be the difference between, that Heatran getting KO'd in the next turn or two. And he's going to go back into it. I like this play. A little bit risky using that switch there. But again, with that Decidueye, this Heatran is just sort of free to start hitting away. And I don't believe this Obstagoon is doing enough to KO it, which is a little bit, it's tough for Gabe right now. I think he doesn't have a lot of options. He does have the Jirachi to find some cards, but I think damaging this Obstagoon, it's not going to get the KO on this Heatran, but it forces him to have to switch into the Centiskorch to get the KO on it, which I believe, is a good play, right? I mean, Pedro's got 2 cards in hand. I think he's already used 2 or 3 switches. So, there's definitely capability for him to get something going here. He's going to attach that capture energy to the Obstagoon. Does he find a Jirachi? Does he find Fion? What does he find here? So yeah, I think right now he's seeing that he doesn't have Decidueye. Doesn't grab any basics, which is interesting. I think his best option here is to just hit with Obstruct. Not going to get the KO, but it prevents Heatran from doing any damage to Obstagoon next turn, forcing Pedro to switch out. If he has energy, he can manually switch, but that's a little bit sketchy. Pedro probably doesn't know. Maybe he does. He probably doesn't know, though, that Gabe doesn't have any Decidueyes available to him. Doesn't have Ordinary Rod in hand. Like, those are things that Pedro probably isn't assuming. He's going to play it smart here. But if he does manually retreat out of Heatran, he will be able to get the KO. Actually, will he? I don't think he will, actually, on that Centiskorch. It's only doing, does it? Oh, he's going to disc reload here. Draw some nice cards. Oh, we see the boss, actually. So that's huge. It's going to buy him like another turn, right? So he's going to be able to get a KO here. And the next turn, you know, if he's got an energy to attach, then he's getting the KO. And that's, you know, I think that's probably a pretty good win condition for him. I think he's doing good right now. I think he's doing pretty good. We see the Air Balloon come out. Yeah, so he's doing 120, like for 2 energy, so he's going to have to get a couple more on here. Of course, this is going to be 1 on right here after he attacks, so the next turn, if he's able to manually attach, no matter what, right, he's got the game here locked in. So Gabe definitely up against the wall here. I don't know what else he can really do. I guess he can try to search for another boss and try to bench lock him again. That might be, I guess, his best option, but there's really not a whole lot that he can do here. Yeah, that's tough. The Fion could be very good for bench lock. But again, that Heatran, you know, does have 3 energies, right? So even if he Fions, then that Heatran can manually retreat out. We see the Zigzagoon. And now we see the Stellar Wish finds another Pokécom. Not much left in his deck at this point. And he's going to go ahead and notice he doesn't have any outs, right? So he's going to go ahead and say that he will go second. I think that's smart. Prevents him from, you know, getting Pedro from getting a really good early setup with his Volcanions and such. So yeah, that was game 1. We're going to go right into game number 2. All right, and here we go. Going on to game 2 of the Chill Series number 15 Grand Finals. We got Gabe Shumway playing Decidueye Goons, and we have Pedro Torres playing Centiskorch Silvally, a new version of Centiskorch that actually I think seems very consistent. It might be sort of the new best way to play Centiskorch. We'll see. I'm sure it'll cause a big stir right in the community. Gabe here, he's going to start off with Jirachi going first. Not bad. Not a bad start. Gives him the old GL. Good luck, my man. And Pedro said, yeah, you deserved that game, actually. So very interesting. I think Gabe didn't get unlucky a little bit that last game, but I think he played it pretty well. Pedro, you know, definitely was a little bit fortunate finding his switch cards and everything like that. So, you know, we'll see how this game goes. Again, it's not a good matchup for Gabe. It really isn't. You know, I bet Gabe Shumway's a little bit sad right now that he's playing probably the worst deck he could have played in finals. But, you know, Pedro had a really tough path to get here. And it's impressive, really, that both of these players made it this far. We're going to see him quick ball away Fire Energy. He does start with the Centiskorch, and he gets the Fire Energy right onto it. Hoping, right, that he can maybe KO Jirachi in the active next turn. Not a bad strategy, especially, you know, right now he's probably going to quick ball. Maybe, depending on what his hand is, he could grab Dedenne, could grab Volcanion. Could grab Heatran. You never know. So we'll definitely we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what both players really decide to do here on their first turn. Discarding that Fire Energy, I don't think it's a huge deal. In this matchup, you know, you don't really need to set up too many energies on like a Centiskorch or anything like that. He's actually going to grab the Type Null. I think that's also very smart. You know, you set up Silvally to consistently draw those cards every turn. I think that this is where this deck really shines. You know, getting that Silvally-GX there on the bench early on, getting those disc reloads every turn, I think it's just a really good strategy. And he's going to go ahead and pass his turn. You know, not much else he can really do. We're going to see a quick ball from Gabe here right off the bat. He's going to get rid of that Fion, which is interesting. It didn't really seem to help him too much last game. He's going to look through his deck, find those prize cards. And nothing really jumps up to me. Maybe Turffield Stadium, maybe some energies, maybe a boss, but you know, we'll see. We'll see what Gabe decides to do. We saw some success with Decidueye Goons, you know, for a while now. Recently, we saw straight Decidueye have some success as well, and it's very interesting, really, to see sort of, you know, the different variants of this Decidueye archetype. And I think Decidueye Goons is a bit better of like a matchup spread, but I think Decidueye is a bit more consistent. And I think in this matchup, Gabe might be sort of wishing that he had more Decidueyes, you know, to kind of just like if you had a 4-4 lineup, maybe he might be able to knock out these Volcanions, and then Pedro really wouldn't have to, you know, be able to do anything after that, right? But we'll see. He's got a Bird Keeper switch, go back into that Jirachi, draw some more cards. He's going to Stellar Wish again. Oh, sorry, it was Scoop Up, I guess. And we see a Rosa, and we see a Pokécom. I think Pokécom is smart for him. Although Rosa might have been the better decision. Who knows? Again, you know, you never know. It's hard to know what's going through the players' heads, and I'm certainly not probably on the level of either of these players, but you know, it's okay. All I can do is observe. We're gonna see him grab the second Rowlet, and he doesn't have any. Like, he attached the Dark Energy this turn. Thinking about Scoop Up Netting. I had to save that Jirachi potentially for next turn, because it definitely will be getting knocked out. But now we're gonna see him just pass, hoping that Pedro just doesn't have it like that. Doesn't have the goods. We see the Cherish Ball, so he is gonna be able to grab that Silvally-GX. So not bad. It's good. It's definitely a really good thing to get early on in the game. And he does get, he does get the evolution there on the Centiskorch VMAX. So this Jirachi is done for. He's going to disc reload. Does he find like boss or anything to KO that Rowlet? That could be very important. If he finds boss, I think that might be a valid strategy. You leave that Jirachi for next turn for Gabe, but you do sort of stop him from setting up for next turn. No, so he's just going to go ahead and KO this Jirachi, and now Gabe is really relying on drawing into the cards that he needs next turn. I think that's really the only thing that he can do. He's going to put the Rowlet right there in the active spot without the energy. I think that's smart in case he doesn't find the stuff that he needs here. And he does find the Quick Ball, and he does have Pokecom, so he can find Decidueye, but he doesn't have rare candy in his hand. No rare candy in hand. Again, he can Marnie out. He can research out. But that Scoop Up Net is definitely something that he would like to save if possible. But yeah, he knows that he's going to be researching out, so he's going to go ahead, Quick Ball. I think finding Jirachi is smart. Just something to really make it a bit more consistent to find the cards that you need to get this Decidueye out on the field. And he is going to Marnie. I think Marnie is also smart with Pedro's hand size. We don't see anything great this turn here from Gabe, and it's like in his hand, right? I guess he can attach to the active, put another basic on the bench, but either way, something's going to get KO'd this turn, and he can Rosa next turn. He will be able to get into Decidueye next turn, but for now, it's not a great. This turn wasn't too great for Gabe, and it's going to just result in Pedro getting another KO. And sometimes that just happens, right? You don't really have a lot of wiggle room. You don't have a lot of leg room for this matchup if you're Gabe right now, and it's something that you really have to make sure that you manage your resources and really just hope that you get the cards that you need at a good pace, or else you're going to be in a difficult spot. We still don't see any Volcanions on the bench from Pedro, but he's in a good spot nonetheless. There's the Volcanion. As I say that, he's going to attach the energy. He's going to go ahead and disc reload here, draw some cards. And let's see what he drew into. Let's see what he grabbed. You never know. And he's just going to go ahead and leave it at that. He's going to get the KO on this Rowlet, take his second prize card of the game, go down to 4 prizes, puts that energy onto Centiskorch, and really forces Gabe to have to go into this Decidueye, which he can do this turn, with the Rosa. But I think either way, if Pedro has a decent hand, then he's going to be able to just go into that Volcanion and get the KO on it, right? So it's just unfortunate. He's in a pretty tough spot right now. I guess right now you really just hope that Pedro doesn't have the cards he needs, doesn't have energy, switch, whatever it might be, and you just go ahead and set up this Decidueye and you just start chipping away. But the strategy definitely isn't bulletproof at all in this matchup. And with the kind of the less than average start here that Gabe had, it's not looking great for him. Right, I think you guys can probably notice that here. He's going to get the Splitting Arrow out. He's going to put some damage counters all across the board here. 90 on that Centiskorch. And now we just see if Pedro does have what he needs here. Realistically, I think he just needs like a Welder and some energies, or like some energy and a switch. It's not, he's got Giant Hearth out on the field, so the chances are looking pretty good for Pedro. He can also disc reload, so he's doing fine. Like, I think Pedro's in a really good spot right now. Gabe's really probably not feeling good. We see a Mallow Lana, so there's the switch, and he's going to be able to grab the energies from the Giant Hearth there. And I think that this is, I don't want to say it's checkmate, but it really is going to be very difficult for Gabe to move on from this turn here. He does have Rosa, so again, he can go into Decidueye once more, but it's probably going to be futile. We'll see if Pedro is able to get into another Volcanion, start setting it up this turn. He's got plenty of time to wait, though. That Centiskorch has plenty of HP, full HP, 320, and he can take hits for days. So I think, Pedro's comfortable. He's in a fine position right now. He's balancing his resources properly, and that Decidueye, is down for the count. debating what he starts the round here with. He knows that he can go into Decidueye, but he doesn't know if he should go out to Jirachi to maybe Stellar Wish to find some more cards before he goes, right? He doesn't know if he's going to be able to get that switch, right? Or a way to switch out, which, could be very crucial. So I think he's not going to risk it. He's going to go into the Rowlet. And he's going to go ahead and pop that Rosa. So now he does have the Decidueye in hand, so he can grab, this makes... I think it makes good sense here. He can ping that Volcanion, finish up the KO. He gets the energy, has the Decidueye, and he's going to be able to, get another attack off. So it's not perfect right now for Gabe, but that was a very good turn, right? You knock out that Volcanion. Pedro doesn't have a Volcanion on his bench, but if he's able to just reload, draw into it, maybe just Welder, he's going to get another KO here. And I think at that point, right, Gabe really can't do anything else. So, we'll see. We'll see what Pedro's able to do. We don't know what's... maybe that Volcanion's prized. Who knows? But Pedro does have boss in deck. He might be able to get access to that. No matter what, I think Pedro has plenty of outs right now. He finds the Pokémon. He's going to get rid of that Dedenne. Does he find the Volcanion? Is it in his deck? And it is. Does he have Welder in hand? That's another big question. Or does he have a way to switch? Or does he have boss? He's got plenty of outs. So we'll see sort of what he comes up with here. We do see the Welder. So very fortunate for Pedro here. Again, the Silvally, the disc reloads every turn for Pedro. It just makes this deck super, super consistent. And personally, I like it a lot. He's going to attach that energy to Centiskorch so that he can retreat and still have enough energies to get the KO here on this Decidueye with Volcanion. And I think once he does that, there's really not much that Gabe can do. And unfortunately, it's not looking like Gabe's going to be able to pull away with it. And, we all knew that it was a tough matchup for Gabe. It just is. Like, when you're playing Desi Goons against Centiskorch, those Volcanions are not the Pokemon that you want to run up against. This version of Centiskorch is even more consistent. Gabe now probably realizes not much else he can do. Kind of going through the motions at this point. But, I think the writing is on the walls right now. Does find the Ordinary Rod. Doesn't want the Fion for sure. He's going to grab the Rowlet and Decidueye. Definitely his best move. What else can he really do? He's going to grab some Grass Energies. Also smart. I guess he has boss in order, so he could potentially go for a bench lock on maybe the Silvally. But that's really not going to help him too much in the long run. Both players are a long ways from decking out. And we're going to see him Stellar Wish here. Finds the Research, so not bad at all. But it will be another turn before he goes into a potential Decidueye. And not looking great as he's forced to pass his turn here. And Gabe, again, he's not guaranteed. Oh, there we go. We see the boss, and that's definitely gonna be it, guys. Congratulations to both players for making it to the finals of this absolutely incredibly large tournament. Chill Series 15, 342 players, man. It was a fantastic tournament. Really cool to see these two decks in finals. Big shout out to Pedro Torres. Big shout out to Gabe Shumway. Both players played incredibly. It was really great to have them play in the tournament. And I want to thank everybody who participated, everybody who's watching this video now. Just thank you all for the support in the community and making our tournament series, that much better every week. But that's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Links down below. I want you guys to go check out the new GG Tour tournament that's coming up soon. As I post this, it's actually tomorrow morning. So if you're watching this right when this video comes out, quickly, just go register. It's free, cash prizing on the line. Or if you don't have time or you're not available tomorrow, maybe try to tune in Wednesday and play in our Chill Series number 16, the Sweet 16 tournament. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you guys like the videos to support the channel and the community. That's going to be it for me. I'm Maddie from Chill TCG. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.